We are reading from chapter 18, text 20. Sarvabhute Suyenaikam Bhavam Agayam Ikshate Avibhaktam Vibhaktesu Tadyanam Vivi Sitrikam Sarvabhutesu Yenaikam Bhavam Avyayam Ikshate Avibhaktam Vibhaktesu Tagyana Vidi Satvikam Sarvabhutesu Yenaikam Bhavam Avyayam Ikshate Avibhaktam Vibhaktesu Tadyanam Vidi Satvikam. What translation? Sarvabhutesu, in all living entities. Yena, by which. Ekam, one. Bhavam, situation. Avyayam, imperishable. Ikshate, one sees. Avibhaktam, undivided. Vibhaktesu, in the numberless divided. Tat, that. Jnanam, knowledge. Vede, law. Satvikam, the mode of goodness. Translation and purport by Divine Grace C. K. That knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities, though they are divided into innumerable forms, you should understand to be in the mode of goodness. Please repeat. That knowledge by which undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities, though they are divided into innumerable forms. You should understand to be in the mode of goodness. Papa, by His divine grace, King. A person who sees one spirit soul in every living being, whether a demigod, human being, animal, bird, beast, aquatic, or plant, possesses knowledge in the mode of goodness. In all living entities, one spirit soul is there, although they have different bodies in terms of their previous work. As described in the 7th chapter, the manifestation of the living force in everybody is due to the superior nature of the Supreme Lord. Thus, to say that one superior nature, the living force in everybody, is to say in the mode of goodness. That living energy is imperishable, although the bodies are perishable. Differences are perceived in terms of the body because there are many forms of material existence in conditional life. The living force appears to be divided. Such impersonal knowledge is an aspect of self-realization. Shri Radha Krishna Pada Shri Radha Shri Krishna He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Vidakate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gauri Radha Rameshwari Vishwanaste Devi Pranami Hari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shri Sadhu Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities, though they are divided into innumerable forms, you should understand to be in the mode of goodness. So, Krishna is here trying, continuing to instruct Arjuna on the aspects of different living entities, and it's stated that a Brahmana, a qualified Brahmana, sees all living entities, with an equal sight, with an equal, mind, So the bodies, different living entities, they have got different bodies. It is mentioned in the scriptures that there are 8,400,000 living entities. So all these forms, they have a soul. They are all living entities, and within these living entities also we have the Paramatma, the two living entities. There is the Atma and the Paramatma. So, a learned Brahman, so a learned person, is actually proper here, or Krishna here is mentioning that one who is in knowledge, or somebody who has knowledge, he sees the spirit in all these living entities. And though they have, different forms of life, so we cannot, we always segregate. There is this segregation, racially, racism, black and white, yellow and green, dog and cat, cow, and So this is only for those people who, have no knowledge, and that's why you see, like, most people, like, most Christians, they say, cows, they don't have soul. Animals, actually, most people say animals, they don't have soul. So that is an impetus, that is an excuse that they use for killing the animals. So that, we see, it's practical that, they just do that because they want to enjoy the senses, the sense of taste. We have different senses in the body. So just to satisfy their senses, so they end up, become, people who kill animals or kill other living entities for the sake of their enjoyment. So this is ignorance. This is like, someone who is not in the mode of, who is not in knowledge, and who is not in the mode of goodness. Because in goodness, then you kind of understand that we are all living entities. We are in this material world. Everybody is on an equal platform. There is nobody who is higher or nobody who is lower, except for the bodies. I might be, a human being and a dog and a cat. You can, create them like that, but still also, even if you come to the real, again, grading, there's the Kshatriyas, Brahmin, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and then also classes according to your intellect, how you are, self-realized. So a self-realized personality, then he sees these living entities as parts and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he himself part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in that case, they are all equal. A Brahmana, by dint of his knowledge, he sees a cat, dog, elephant as all, bodies, but they're all in the same platform. So this is the knowledge that one should have or understand, and then cultivate his self-realization. Understand which or how to develop his Krishna consciousness or God consciousness, because just living like animals and without that differentiation of having the intelligence to understand that all living entities are parts and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that we are all on an equal platform, except that some, due to their karma or due to their desires, they have different forms. It's just like the scriptures, even they say that even the mountains, the stones, they are living entities. I was reading a place that I saw in Libya. They have stones that are actually living, and they say you can even hear their heartbeats. You put the doctors, they put their whatever stethoscope, and they can feel that the heartbeat, boom, 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 boom. So we have a very elaborate or a very complete knowledge in the seventh chapter. Krishna is describing the absolute truth that he's telling Arjuna that by understanding this knowledge of Krishna consciousness, there is nothing else or there is nothing more to understand. So Krishna is engaging or is trying to educate or trying to explain to Arjuna the importance of being a Krishna conscious. Somebody who is, well elevated. We are supposed to gradually elevate ourselves to a point whereby we see things in an equal side or an equal platform without, having this, kind of regression. In chapter 7, Prabhupada is explaining about this to Krishna. Prabhupada's property is saying that to hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotees who constantly engage in hearing of him. In this way, a devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him, in this way, a devotee naturally develops his dominant transcendental knowledge as he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from devotees. He becomes fixed in devotional service of the Lord. By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lusts and avarice are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the science of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga savors the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of asamyam samagram, understanding of the supreme absolute truth, personality of Godhead. This is Bhagavatam chapter 1, text 12, Canto 12, Canto 1, chapter 12, 17 to 21. So here we see that we have to elevate ourselves. That's why somebody who is in the mode of goodness, then he, sees everything on an equal vision. He doesn't, see the different bodies are there, but for him, he doesn't perceive the bodies, but he perceives the spirit that is in the different forms. So we have to actually, come from ignorance and then from passion and then situate ourselves in the mode of goodness. And this, the mode of goodness, also we have to become engaged, or we have to hear about Krishna. And thus we can be perfect, or we can perfect our lives. Because this is the knowledge, this is the ultimate constitutional position of the living entities. Unless we come to this realization, self-realization, that we are part and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are not this body. This body is like just by, coming into this material world and then interacting with the different modes, different desires, that different bodies have been created, and thus they act. Each and every body acts according to the way it's fashioned. A dog acts like a dog, a cat acts like a cat. Birds, they act like birds. So in this way, each and every living entity is trying to perform its, karma, its activities, its desire, fulfilling their desires, and thus, continue with their evolution, or samsara, birth, death, old age, and disease. We understand that this material world is a place, spiritual, they say it's a place of death. So if we want to cut that cycle of birth, death, and old age, the only way is to engage ourselves in Krishna consciousness. Come and listen to it, it's mentioned here, listening to Krishna Katha, engaging ourselves in devotional service, and then we can only, free ourselves from this material condemnation or material attachment, because it's so hard to free ourselves from this, material nature. We see, we have people fighting all over the place, This is Kenya, this is Uganda, this is India, this is Africa, this is America, I'm white, I'm black, this is my family, this is so and so. So it's continuous like that. So unless we understand our real position as servants of the Supreme Personality of God, and then engaging ourselves in Krishna consciousness to elevate ourselves from this material platform of this attachment to gross matter, then it will be not easy for us to free ourselves. We will always be condemned, we will always be recycling, coming again, birth, death, old age, with different bodies according to our different desires. Is there any comments? Comments, questions? Transaction Bhagavad Gita All words are symbolic words.